Hey, everybody, we're back! It's good to see you here. We missed you, and I hope you also missed us, because otherwise it'd just be a really awkward, unmutual missing, and that'd just be weird for everyone involved. Anyway, welcome back. If you don't know where you are watching GeekSpaceTV, and we are going to be doing Leviathan Distant Stars, a Stars Without Number RPG. And don't worry, we left them in a totally safe and not at all dangerous situation. They thoroughly had handled the challenges that I threw at them.
We did that.
It's been
We did that.
Yeah,
They're
you
two
did.
separate things, the
Yeah.
danger and the handling.
Yeah, it was really good handling. We'll do a quick recap in a minute, but before that, we have some announcements.
My heart is all pitter-patter because I'm so excited that I'm back.
Aww.
I just hope it's like.
It's
Oh,
not
so you might
spasming
have
or anything.
atrial fibrillation. Let's
not a good pitter-patter. It's just like there's a butterfly trapped in my heart space and it can't stretch, but that's okay because I want to keep it there.
Maybe it'll pop out of your chest.
Okay, so
I tried to be
that's
sweet
not
and then I
another
got
week of
dark.
medical advice. we want our fans to survive the rest of the season.
if you're having heart palpitations, go see a medical professional, not Claudia.
It's good. Butterfly heart. Yeah.
Announcements before we get started. There are many ways in which you can support this show. Being here, simply watching this show, hosting the channel, sharing it out via your various social medias, writing it in the sky, buying a bunch of stars and renaming them Leviathan. That would be a really great method, but then I don't know how people would find out about it.
You can't name them all Leviathan.
You could name them, you could get three. One Leviathan, one Distant, and then one Stars,
Okay,
and so you have the Stars star.
Or name a
That
star
tracks.
after your favorite ship.
Yeah.
I always got
I believe
confused about
we've
this.
got a lot of Hexana.
So you could buy the right to name the star. What if somebody else also through a different website got that same star? Do you have to sue each other for it?
Yes.
Is it like
Really?
this is something that's bothering me.
No, these are all
sport?
icon names.
It's
These
a
are
sport.
icon names.
Yeah, no, we are only
something.
officially naming them with icon names.
If your certificate was signed by the King of Space, then it actually overrules.
But
the
could
other
you
person's.
imagine, as soon as you get into
Prince
space,
of
being like,
Cosmos.
it's named Bapu.
The
because I
Galactic
named it
Emperor,
that.
though, he trumps the King of Space. they, I should say. You can be an emperor. So, those are all options that you can do. You can also help support us through tips, actually, technically, donations, because we're a non-profit streaming studio in the Seattle area. What? Super cool. So all of your donations that come through help us pay the cast, pay the producer, afford our rent, and are incredibly helpful and appreciated. And if you would like to set up, I'm gonna hit my dice punishment cage, which I'm glad is now just being set up for me.
I really don't like it. I want to be on a very firm stance.
Well, Claudia, don't roll poorly, or I'll have to put you in the cage.
Wait.
Me
don't roll. But
I will pick you up and throw you like one of my dice, and you better land on a good number.
Have you ever thrown a raccoon? That's what it's gonna be like.
Who hasn't?
Wait, is this a common occurrence?
There's gonna be a lot of this, and then I'm gonna flop on my stomach and then roll in the garbage.
Yeah, and then one of those things will give me a number, and it better be a good one, or I'll have to put you in a cage.
I think we may need to reclassify the stream.
So
Cross
other
the
ways, if you would
weird
like to
line.
set up a monthly recurring donation, we have a Patreon, and so you can head over there. There are various tiers of support that come with cool rewards like naming stars in our show, not in real life, although I will happily sign your certificate as the Empress of Space, or the Galactic Empress, and I think Dan will probably alternatively sign them as Space King.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I got nothing better to do.
So you can head over there. And I think those are the main things. Yeah. Also, fan
more
art.
later.
Did you see that really cool fan art video at the beginning of this stream? We have a form for you. If you have some fan art of your
Yay,
own,
forms.
you should submit it with the form, and then we'll put it at the beginning of the stream, and everyone will go, ooh, special, sparkle. Let's try that again. Everyone will go, ooh,
Ooh.
Dan, why must you ruin everything?
because he's Dan.
Dan, can you teach me your improv skills?
It says that on my business card.
Great. So you should do that. you should submit fan art. Also, we have a Wikia, so if you're really confused about stuff during this show, I believe it's !wiki, and then it goes wiki, and you can get access to our Wikia, where all of your many questions will be answered, because we have an amazing lore master, William T.W., who is entirely doing this under their own volition.
No coercion.
My face hurts.
Any other announcements? Anything else? Next week is going to be the final episode of Season 1 of Leviathan Distant Stars. We will be starting, after that, some interim shows for a few weeks. The exact nature of said shows are still being figured out, but I'm very excited. One of them is super fun. That I know.
Just one of them.
Just
The
one of
rest
them.
are-
The other ones! The other ones,
Right out.
I'll be honest. So far, there is only one.
I wonder
Everyone
which
needs
one
more.
that is.
Surprise!
They're just gonna put us in a room for like 5 hours a day.
Lock the door and
Lock
be
the
like,
door.
entertain the internet.
We'll have rolling. We'll just do rolling.
But then we will be back in the new year with Season 2 and many more exciting adventures to be had with the crew of the Batleth. So without further ado, let us introduce the crew of the Batleth. I believe you may start. You have the team
That was such a ringing endorsement.
of the
That's not the word.
glitteriest lipstick.
I'm just gonna let that just lay there. Hello, everybody. My name
At least you're not clittering everywhere.
is. See,
We were all
We were
thinking
this
we were
close.
and then we were like, let's just do it, like because that's what the show is
You've
about.
gotta,
That's why
gotta
we're
address
there.
the clitoris in the
Steering.
room.
Yes,
Steering
I
into the skid.
100%.
I
100%.
I wanted to Tokyo drift out of it, actually.
Trust the clitoris in the room. Hello, everybody. My name is Lizzie the Bold. I am a part-time streamer, full-time Dark Lord of all of the pop idols.
You should ask her about it sometime.
Yeah.
You should
It's
ask
been
me
pretty
about
great.
it. Feel free to at me. And today I am playing Ziana, Captain of the Batleth, 7 foot tall, red scaled Amazonian warrior, and total badass who is definitely going to pull everybody through this, and we're all gonna be fine.
Yay!
Yay!
Pull through one. Yay! Hi, everybody. I am Cheryl Platts, aka Muppet Aphrodite on Twitter and Twitch and most of the other things. By day, I am an interaction designer, public speaker, runner, travel addict, and Twitch affiliate. And by night, I am on Wednesdays, Hexy Kate, who is a psionic entertainer. She's like Carly Rae Jepsen, but wants the notoriety of Taylor Swift, but perhaps without some of the baggage. She just wants everybody to know about her music, and she wants to collect all the feelings and have them with her music. Her psionic abilities include the ability to heal, sometimes while giving massages, and the ability to telekinesis, lift things with her mind, and recently acquired the ability to freeze or melt objects with her mind. It's going to come in so handy.
It's good brain.
You got
Do we
this.
need to skip you?
No, I'm good.
Okay, how's that
I just-
butterfly trapped inside of
good,
your ventricles?
but now, like, so, like, I'm just really excited. So, my name is Claudia, but on the Twitch and Twitter, I go by Jackie Dash, JAKIDASH. I play Kika, and Kika is our baddie engineer. She's a Trico, which means 1
to be
meter
clear.
tall.
Not batty in terms of crazy, batty
Oh.
in terms of a literal bat.
Yeah.
It can be two
I think
things.
Batty is
It's a good-
Muppet-
it's
it's
true.
a Muppet declarative. It means
Yeah.
like the count, which there's
Oh, yeah.
nothing wrong with
My
Yeah.
spiel is on point. Like, I just want to put it in perspective. I've thought about it. But Kika is an engineer, and she fixes things that are not broken, and sometimes fixes things that needed to be broken first. And now, I do want to point out that my character shot arrows on the back of a soldier and hit things in the face. So, like, at me,
Bring
bro.
it.
Oh my god! Where have you been? What has happened to Kika? She's had to get tough. There's scratchy boo-boos on her all over her.
I thought that my brain was worried for a second.
She's so precious.
Hi, I'm Sarah. On Twitch and Twitter, you can find me at Shellgame, and I play Thea. She's a merchant who likes to find things and repossess them for the good of the people.
Hey, Robin Hood.
Which people? The people.
The people.
Okay. Hi, I'm Dan Poslins. I'm at Dan Poslins on Twitter, and I will tonight be playing Lieutenant Conrad Carls Jr.,
To the other character.
currently going by Kenny. And he's a recent graduate of the ICA Military Academy at the Genius Bar in Cupertino. And he is, this has been his first big space adventure, and he's learning a lot.
About himself?
Oh my god.
Yeah, among other things.
What? No.
We hit halfway.
Jeez, we haven't even started. Great.
Oh,
Fuck this, we're out!
I thought you meant halfway through the show. I didn't take that long.
These were really long introductions. And I am Random Tuesday on the internet. I will be your GM for this evening. And with that, last time on Leviathan Distant Stars. I don't know. I'm waiting for them to depict something. It's cool. I like it.
I almost did this.
Yeah, I
and
like that.
I missed
It was
it,
good.
but also it's for that time.
We can.
No.
Glitter bomb.
Please no.
I was gonna say, I mean,
So,
I'm trying to help.
our intrepid
I like Star
crew
Wars.
of the Batleth, a smaller frigate-style spaceship, perhaps one might refer to it as a mercenary vessel. A transportation specialist vehicle. Finished up covert transportation specialist. They finished up one of their missions that they were doing for the Leviathan ship Sarin. They needed to acquire a thread drive, replacement parts, which they managed to successfully acquire. There was some sneaking involved that then involved the playing of rock music. There were a number of guards that were knocked out. There was there was a lot of drugs consumed.
Yeah.
There was levitating engine parts. There were melted turrets. There were drones firing drugs. And there were the ship being fired on by these turrets, and then the freedom fighters being like, hey, I guess this is a distraction that we didn't need to cause, attacking this base on this random planet that has some very complicated politics that they only sort of kind of got involved with, and it's probably totally fine.
Totally fine. Definitely
This
not.
advanced technological civilization will definitely not care about the Batleth ever again.
Oh no! Consequences!
They
So
won't.
the crew very successfully levitated this engine into the cargo bay. The discovery of the horribly painted cargo bay was had. And they reinstalled the new thread drive. There was a lot of conversations about choices made with drugs and whether or not they should continue to be made. And the
You know,
crew
I was going to be the order monkey on this show. I don't know how I wound
that
up
went
being
out
a
the
drug
window.
pusher.
None of us are order monkeys.
No, there's
Yeah,
one
when did you?
order.
Yeah, you were like, I'm gonna be an order monkey, and you're like, I'm gonna be an order muppet, and neither of you are. And you were all like, nah, I'm not being an order muppet, and you're definitely not.
I meant.
I was worried you would
Yeah.
say we were
You're like, I'm gonna melt this turret with my brain.
I'm
Of
never
course
gonna
you
be
are.
an order muppet.
Well, I thought I was
You-
so
like at
close.
least 3 of you were honest with yourselves.
I was so close to being. I was like, this is the most Muppet. Like, wait.
I mean,
Most.
I feel like I was close.
I was so close to being an order
weren't
monkey,
that close.
and then
you
I.
were not close. You did do in episode 1.
Okay,
I caused.
I do
aliens.
remember that.
You play rock music, you throw guns, you shoot people with drugs.
You melt turrets.
I melt
and
turrets.
Yeah.
You are the
And sing
closest
lullabies
we
to
have to an
aliens.
order muppet, and that's only because the loans on the ship are in your name.
It's true.
Somebody needs to trudge all of us with leashes, and just one very, very grumpy.
So on that note,
So you're volunteering for the leash now.
I mean, like, Claudia is fine if Kika's fine with the leash. But Kika's not fine with the leash, and Claudia's also does not like to be leashed.
I mean, you guys have had that discussion before. I
Yes.
think.
so
Cones too.
pretty successful acquisition mission. They reinstalled the thread drive and they made their way back to Genis Landing, the space sort of ports hub satellite that they had traveled to and from. On their way, previously, Thea had left the crew, leaving a message behind saying that she was going to be running some reconnaissance to get some information because they still needed to acquire some weaponry for Sarin in order to protect it when they eventually made their way back to the home base planet of the Rays, the large monstrous ships that are trying to devour our galaxy, slowly but surely, one planet at a time. And, however, when they arrived at Genis Landing, a lot of ships were doing the run away! I likened it to the scene in Finding Nemo when all of the krill are swimming away from the whale. They picked up a couple of distress signals, one in particular from Klariskis, an Eratos, who was trapped inside of Genis Landing, stating that there were monsters descending in on them. They were unable to escape, and they had a little over a dozen individuals with them that they were protecting and hoping that someone would be able to get them out. Most all of the larger ships had been taken and used as escape vessels to by the large the population of Genis Landing, which I think I had a very large estimate from, and I have judged that to the more accurate number of about 5,000 or so, half of which are permanent inhabitants-ish of Genis Landing, and the other half are transitory in some manner. How many of those individuals made it off and how many of them are dead versus trapped are unknown, but there is at least one contingent that were sending out this distress signal. The station itself was pretty much devoid of any ships that could be used as escape vessels, and instead, on the top of it, attached to one portion of it, its large tentacle sort of spines impaling into the ship, the hull of the space station, was a small Rays ship that was identified as a scout ship. Small compared to the full-size one that you first encountered. This one estimating to hold maybe a crew of 50 or so hollow that would be used to essentially establish a base, scout a territory, and then eventually send a signal back to the main crew.
After eating space station.
After consuming a large portion of it for resources.
And
Ships gotta eat.
it's still bigger than the Batleth.
It
right?
is bigger than the Batleth and smaller than Sarin, but not, and Sarin doesn't have weapons.
Could Sarin eat it?
Sarin could not eat it. It's like,
Sarin is a vegetarian.
it would, it's like a sort of a size comparison of, the scout ship would be Kika's size, and Sarin would be like Thea's size, and then the Batleth would be a shoe. Maybe not. Would be like a puppy. Like a good puppy.
Like a really ferocious puppy.
Super terrifying. Adorably ferocious.
Does he have the angry eyes pasted on?
Yes! With the angry brows!
Yay!
Yes!
Can we paint them on?
Can we paint that on the ship?
We
You
cannot. No, we cannot.
You can do that to a
paint-
dog?
Yeah, have you not
Have you
seen
ever seen them? People like put little sticky on eyebrows.
Oh my
Please
God.
Like you're
Can you do this to Simon and then post
Chihuahua.
I'm definitely doing this to Simon.
Oh my god.
Oh, please. I love Lucky.
Simon.
Okay.
You trying to rename his dog?
I drew a picture.
It was one of the names we considered.
I drew a picture. It's going nom 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 nom. It does. They are supposed to. Slash crustacean. Like
Never
the,
mind,
the-
fuck all this.
Yeah. Did you not know that's what they look like?
Not really.
Oh, yeah, I've got the other picture that I
Picturing
showed.
something kind of squid-like.
They are. They're a little squid-like.
It's,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like the
Right.
things from the Matrix.
Yeah.
But also organic.
Here's the thing. I could design those.
You
So
should submit that to the fan art.
I think mine counts as fan art. I'm not a fan of my own show. So, the crew of the Batleth decided that rather than getting the fuck out of there like most of the sane ships, they, one, had a responsibility to protect the galaxy from this Rays ship. by in some way stalling it or stopping it from sending a message back to the fleet that this was a region of space they could take and occupy. So the natural conclusion was that they should, and then also feeling like maybe they should help these survivors and get them out if they could. So feeling bold and maybe vertical. They decided
no one's vertical.
They
No one is
decided
vertical.
the best course of action was to take the Batleth. They managed to
Best.
get it undetected by turning the power off, docked it with the space station so that it would be largely undetected by the scout ship, while Sarin kept a good distance, but not a massive one. Then get inside the station, make their way to the core, access the engine and or some sort of thruster system, and program it to crash into the sun.
Yes.
This is their plan, and then get out before it crashes into the sun.
If we can't
Good
take
plan.
on a small raise, how are we going to take on larger raises?
The hope being that
Raise-eye?
the rays would remain attached and to the ship, which is a reasonable chance because it is currently eating it, and then would also crash into the sun with it. But at the very least, it would leave.
I didn't think about that. Our plan hinges on the enemy ship being stupid.
Have you met a raise?
I mean,
Well, alternatively, we can just blow the station up, but we're kind of on it.
That was the secondary
Yeah.
plan, was
Yeah.
detonating the station.
Well,
I mean, can
You
we-
always put it on a 30-second timer. That's always enough.
Yeah.
It was enough in Independence Day. I'm sure it's enough.
And
now.
so we cut
the
to
Star Trek: The Next Generation.
we cut to
episodes.
the crew of the
Multiple.
Batleth quietly yelling at each other about
Yelling.
quietly
into the sun.
quietly whispering, okay, we're gonna crash into the sun. No, but you put it on a having just
It was like
killed 3 hollow of the sort of scouters. I don't remember who it was, but someone would have identified them, believing that these were not like soldiers or sort of fighters within, but like scouters sending in throughout the station to kind of learn information and pull information. So they had murdered them thoroughly with their military and attacking prowess. Their dead forms are lying around them as they are in the sort of central structure of this space station, working their way towards the middle before working their way up to the engineering core, where Kalariski, the Eratos, and the survivors are, as well as the central core of the Genis landing space station. So, I'll give you a moment to process having just encountered these hollow, as you, I assume, kind of eventually will continue moving on.
Okay, so 3 down, 4,997
It's not gonna be 1,000.
to go.
It's not going to be 1,000.
Last time it was
There were- it
5,000,
was-
so
No,
we should
it's a
plan for
smaller ship.
5,000.
It was 50. I thought when you translated for me, she had said that there were about 50 on the other ship.
47 left then. And you're not infected yet, right? Scratch? Any scratches?
I'm fine.
I don't
have
think that these
my
were
gun.
the kind that do that. They didn't have the kind of appendages that the other ones had in their fingers.
Okay.
They sort of, yes, creepy.
We
He's
should
okay.
probably just get these people out before they're devoured.
And us as well.
yeah, that too. I would also like not to be devoured.
Would be a preference for me as well.
Which way are we going?
I'm glad we're all in agreement.
Yeah, because we're on the low. We're on a very
we
low
have
level.
to get
You're
we have
pretty
to get
low.
towards like the essential
The center.
central shaft.
You've moved your way pretty far in. So far, you haven't really seen any people. The bottom section of Genis Landing would have had more time to escape because the rays latched onto the top. So here you can kind of anticipate percentage-wise most survivors, and then as you go up, fewer survivors or people who would escape.
Oh, wait, how many people are on this spaceship?
Station.
The station was
Yeah.
about 5,000.
That's why I got the 5,000 number. Because if we assume that every single one of them is not changed.
You know for a fact a significant portion of them left on ships
Yeah.
because they were leaving and sending
them
out
down.
signals, and
I-
you saw
I-
them leave. The station itself could house a good 100 to 150 ships of various sizes in docking bays. It's designed essentially more for ships and a portion of their population remaining on board.
And you said all but the smallest ships are gone now.
Yeah. Pretty much the only ships that are left are ones that wouldn't be able to make any thread jumps.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay,
Captain, we should keep moving.
I agree. Let's keep moving.
So you head kind of down these corridors. They're sort of fairly small, not cramped, but definitely as you've gone further into the ship, everything's designed to be more efficient in terms of storage. Kika would be pleased to see a large number of like tubes and pipes and sort of jutting out pieces along the walls and the ceiling as you're leaving the fully finished areas and into the like partially finished corridors. Go ahead and give me a notice and wisdom checks. And Thea, go ahead and give me a sneaking and dexterity.
Sorry.
4, 2, 10, 7.
I've only got
I just want to point out that I can't be snuck up. I can't be sneak attacked.
You can be sneak attacked. That's
Me
good.
neither.
That was the whole point of
Yeah.
taking notice.
Wait,
When
you
these
can't.
garbage die, roll my garbage numbers for my garbage
7.
notice.
So I think officially the only person, Kika, you are like perched on the top of Conrad, I think,
Yeah.
right? You're
Yeah.
still on his back. I assume that like at the front are Ziana and Hexy, and they're sort of walking at the front, and then Conrad would be behind
You
them.
did really good shooting those aliens.
Your ears pick up the sound of footsteps. They're behind you.
Wait, like people footsteps?
You can't tell the difference. Like you're like they sound like footsteps. They're not running. They're not moving quickly, but you hear.
Conrad,
Yes.
pull aside.
Pull aside.
I'm like motioning, which
Are you
you
trying to
can't
steer
see.
him?
I'm trying to. I'm not trying to steer him. I am whispering.
I can't.
Grab his
I am
luscious blonde locks.
I
I
am.
can't see where you're pointing. You're gonna have to steer me.
Oh my goodness gracious! I'm like leaning forward, and be like, go behind that pillar. And there's like a weirdly
I don't
pipe
think
Are you
we
just
should
going to
separate
allow the
from the
rest of
group.
us
just
to
for a
keep walking?
second.
Just for a second.
Just for a second.
Okay, you've got 1 second.
Mimi,
Time's up.
Are you? Are you me meeping us?
yeah, Mimi. There's somebody following us. We're gonna stay behind for a second. Don't go too far. Act normal.
Why are we splitting up?
Act normal.
Wait.
I would like everyone who is
Someone
bonded with the ship. Go ahead and just roll a wisdom and I'll take either a social skill or like notice, or no. Like you could do like connect or talk.
5. However, I would like to point out that in response to this, Ziana would be like, if it's not a raise, it's probably a survivor.
Guys, looters exist. Looters
11.
exist.
You definitely feel a tug of something familiar. Like in the Meep Meep mind. Especially when she went Meep Meep, you're like, there's another person on this call.
Oh,
On the pretty line.
Party line.
That's
a door step.
Hexy's at least socially intelligent enough to be. Thea.
What?
wait, would that meet me or voiced?
Yeah.
Maybe. What?
Okay, Ziana stops and turns around.
I'm still trying to hide you behind the camera.
How are you doing? Are you well? What do you mean, what?
I'm ready to kill whoever's following us.
Don't kill me, it's me!
What?
You hear a voice from the darkness, like 20 or so meters behind you.
Thea?
Are you
Yeah?
Are you gonna shoot me? Because if you are, I'm not answering that question.
Oh, goodness.
Thea, come on.
I'm not gonna shoot
Do
you.
we all have to turn around so you can surprise us?
I really wanted to surprise you. I mean,
Okay.
what's the point? What's the point if I can't even surprise you?
You want to surprise us?
Yes!
In a
we're
station that's
carrying
under
weapons!
attack?
After being gone?
Look, we've got to have some kind of fun at some point. Does it have to be
I don't
now?
even know where to
All right,
begin
all
explaining
right,
what's
all right.
wrong with that statement.
Look, okay. Hi. What happened to you?
I assume you walked forward at this point and joined up with
oh,
the
yeah,
group.
I
and
came out of the
Thea
shadows.
is
I'm
there.
gonna scuttle down.
Are you climbing over my...
There's some awkward foot placement,
All right.
yes.
Yeah.
You get
I'm sure there
like
is.
one like on your cheek.
Scuttle.
Ah,
She tries to get your shoulder and just sort of scrapes down your pecs.
Yeah.
Hey, what happened to you?
I mean, I'm really good at shooting now. Because Hexy taught me how to shoot. Hexy taught me how to shoot.
Yeah?
I talk to the computer a lot.
Cool.
Hexy knows about my secret room. Keep it a secret.
What?
Yeah.
Why did you tell her?
Well, she was having a tough time.
You can't
Am I-
this entire
I have
conversation
the
right
computer!
next to them.
I am
Whoa.
right next to Hexy. What secret? You know what? We'll discuss this later. Thea, welcome back. I see that
Hi.
you have all of your limbs and both of your eyes, and I'm not really sure what other things.
I am
humans
definitely braiding your
have
hair.
That I'm supposed to be checking for. Do you still contain all of your organs?
Yes. I mean, as many as I have information on potentially some weapons.
Oh, well.
But I don't know if you guys know, there are some rays here. They landed at the top, and I was thinking I could just kind of like go up there and, I don't know, disconnect the ship somehow. I don't know. I
What?
haven't figured
By
out a
yourself?
whole lot yet, but I can't just got to do something. I'm not gonna die.
You became a good girl.
I am not a good girl. Do not tell those lies.
You've gone
there-
learning how to be a.
Is there like a water
Don't
pipe or
even
container nearby?
Not obviously, but you could
How about
probably
anything-
like look around and figure out like one of the pipes is probably carrying water.
I missed you too.
I'm gonna poke a hole in it. Just a little hole.
You use your gun to do that?
No. Like, is it really high?
It's on the ceiling. Like,
No.
the ceilings aren't any taller than like this room. They're
I'm not gonna yet. All right. Well, we're going to here. We're gonna take this spaceship and push it into the sun.
A whole spaceship?
Yeah.
There,
Space station?
It's a station, and there are survivors near the core. We're on our way to try and find them. We're thinking that we're going to try and change the propulsion system. Something, I don't know. Technological things are Kika's thing.
I just wanted to blow it up.
We might blow it up on a timer. 30 seconds. I don't.
I
think
don't
it's
move that
sufficient.
30 seconds.
I don't think it's sufficient.
Or we could just be in a ship
We've
that's
been
close
in here
by,
for
and
an
I look
hour.
at it and I blow up the parts that are flammable with my mind. I don't see what's so crazy
Well,
about that.
so what we could do then is we could actually attach the fuel tanks in a spot, but we still need to get to the main.
we have to rescue
center.
people first. We do
And
not
we
want
need
to
to do
have-
that quickly. So let's round up and.
We need to get
Do I have
close to
any
Top
knowledge
Rock.
of like the layout of the space station or the anything like that? At
Go
this
ahead and
point?
give me a intelligence and no.
Ooh, well, that was a 3.
You don't have any more knowledge than the rest of the group. Like, you've got an understanding of its layout, of like, where
It's
the
round.
core is. You know that like the outsides of it are largely the sort of public areas and the docking bays, and then like the next layer in is sort of where people who would live here would live, and then like the interior is largely functional. Either just like where pipes have to run through, and then in certain areas there would be like maintenance ports and engine and like controls.
Oh, okay. So I would know where the controls are.
Yeah. Okay. That is a piece of information that's like pretty much everyone currently has.
Yeah. Well, the issue is just with flames. Spaceships are made to. Sorry, space stations are made not to be on fire because fire is really hard to put out
Tell
in
me
space.
more.
Yeah.
Made not to be on fire, but
So
everything
it's-
has a boiling point.
Yeah. The
That's
sun.
it-
The sun is the
it-
boiling point.
I'm just saying.
Fire is also really easy to put out in space because
Yeah.
there's no oxygen.
Thea,
Well, who's the engineer here?
Thea, are you armed?
I graduated.
I mean, I've got my rifle.
Do you know how to use it yet?
No, I was busy trying to find information about weapons.
Just checking. No judgment. So, all right.
A little bit of judgment. There's a little bit. 'cause
I need then I need you to stay towards the center of the group. Please don't shoot anyone who you know, and please don't shoot any survivors. And let's get moving while we hash out what our plan is. I guess.
Oh, shoot, I was supposed to give you the silent treatment when you came back.
Don't worry, you
I
can
was
do
supposed
it.
That's very.
Why are you
That's
supposed to
actually
give me
compatible with going and rescuing people. And Hexy starts.
Let's
moving.
all give everyone the silent treatment until we're off
The
this.
group awkwardly starts out, no one quite walking away at the same time.
And Ziana just start walking.
Conrad like awkwardly waits because he's like, I should be watching them, but also they should be moving, and so then you're like trying to herd them.
Kika, did you want?
But, I mean, is it okay?
Thank you, we hit the goal.
It's
Yeah,
It's up to
you
you.
can. I mean, you can go wherever you want.
you have
It's cool.
agency.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, he's like there's like an awkward stretch of being like.
At
just
this
being
point,
in
Conrad
Conrad's-
like has his back and he's just sort of pushing you guys.
Well, I'm
forward.
like on the Conrad's shoulders.
All right.
Okay, good. Meet. Why are you supposed to be silent to me? What the hell is that?
The group
We
continues
literally
walking. I'll
talked
have you
about
periodically roll
you
some rolls.
need to let me know before you leave, and you agreed that you were gonna let me go before we let me know
I
before
did. I
you
left
leave.
you a note.
Yeah, but I can't see notes.
Oh,
So it took a couple days.
It was an audio note.
Yeah, but there's still a thing in the bet. Like,
I'm sorry. I didn't think about that piece of it. I had to.
I understand, but I can still be a little bit hurt. And like, you're a big, not good adult woman who's learning about her space in space. And you can make those choices. I just...
Hey, I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm sorry.
Did you get hurt?
I mean, I got all my limbs and I got my eyes and I got all my organs, so, you know.
Yeah.
All
That's
good.
good.
Yeah.
What's missing from that list?
So I'm
Nothing
really
important.
glad.
Dignity.
It's good to have the team back together.
Hey, I'm sorry, dude.
That's okay. I also apologize to Captain about the paint. I think we did a great job.
She found it?
Cargo goes in the cargo bay.
Yeah, cargo goes in the cargo bay.
I
You don't
forgot
pick up
cargo
any
goes in the
You don't
cargo
pick up
bay.
any cargo. Why did you? This is all out loud at this point.
Yeah, that was
Are
pretty
Okay.
you see-
Great.
They're just not very good at the silent treatment.
Why are you guys talking about cargo?
No reason.
Ziana, still walking, turns her head slowly, twists around, and then goes back to walking.
Yeah, I think you have to do your apology side soon.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I don't.
Your handprints turned out really well.
Thank you.
Meet me.
I thought so. Meet me.
I don't think she found the glow in the dark yet.
Meet me, we are all psychically connected.
That was a secret, meet me.
No, that's not.
It can
It was a
be.
DM.
Can't be how this works.
We have to. There's
I'll just, when things are calmer, I already sprung a trap on you guys, so I don't wanna,
yeah, not right now.
Yeah.
You know, the good news is that you're looking really buff right now because I mean you've been spending a lot of time with your weights and I think it's really working. I'm sure it'll be really helpful with all these aliens and stuff.
Thank you.
So, Thea, you just took off without telling anyone?
I left a note.
You
That
did?
is more than I have ever done in my life.
True facts.
I mean, I left an auto response in my Outlook, but it's... I don't know. You
You mean spell look.
Yes, my space Outlook.
Oh, spout look.
But
Spout look.
but I mean, no one's gonna miss me. A lot of people missed you back on the ship. You should know that.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, it's not cool.
I don't know.
If you died, Kenny, I would hold a solemn memorial in your honor. I imagine you would die as a warrior. You should be proud.
Wow, that's the nicest thing you've said to me.
That's probably accurate.
Thank you, Captain.
You're welcome.
Is the captain dying?
No, we all like you.
To be clear, this is the classic West Wing walk and talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all
Like,
moving.
For
Our
certain.
values of
There's
Vikings.
quiet, angry whispering.
Yeah,
Have you-
yeah.
like-
And then
oh,
occasionally, like, you guys move up a level and, like, you climb up some ladders.
If I
or,
see
like,
a
you go
water
through open
pipe,
doors.
I just want to poke a hole in it and then I get a little water out of it and start sculpting it into an ice sculpture with my mind.
Yes. I assume you had a water bottle on you.
Oh, did I?
I
might
just
for drinking.
assume that you guys have, like, basic necessities, like water bottles.
Who
and,
brings
like,
a water bottle on a
Mito
rescue mission?
Sticko.
Amiibo,
Not
yeah,
bad.
you
I
missed
can tell
the
you
Mito
right
This
now.
prepared guy does.
You probably got water
Do you have a
tablets.
camelback?
I've got that too. Huh?
Do you have a camelback?
A camelback?
Yeah,
Sorry,
like with a little,
spamelback.
like, where it's
I
like
have
you
a
have the thing and you like,
backpack.
and the little spout comes and you're like,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Conrad definitely has one of those.
No, like,
Yes.
that's like what military like.
And then there's like a little compartment that you latch on the spout and do.
and then it
Yeah,
directs
well,
to your
all
mouth.
you do is in cans mostly. Let's
Yeah,
be
but
clear.
you
You
could
just pop that.
you could stab the bottom of the can,
pop a
and then
tab
you
into
pop
it.
the tab.
Why are we
then
encouraging
you could
getting
just be like,
vertical? We're
"Oh."
not. There's no
No.
verticality happening.
That's a good
Episode's
point.
still early on, so.
I've never is that's how you what's it called? Shotgun a Mountain Dew, right? You just go vertical, and then you just spray it all over your face.
Hexie turns
I'm
to
weirdly
Thea and
uncomfortable.
she hands you a ice version of handprint one of the handprints you left in the cargo bay. I made this for you. It's gonna melt though, so don't worry. You don't have to keep it or anything. This is welcome back.
Thanks. Cool. Thanks. People really did miss me.
Yes. How?
That's weird.
Well, this is the first time we've haven't broken in and left.
True. Also true.
I mean, you left. I don't know if that was out loud or if it was.
We were
on your-
probably whispering.
Yeah, I think we were whispering. Although you could probably hear.
If you're
Yeah.
whispering.
That's right.
I'm getting at least half the conversation.
Yep, I did. Boy, this hallway's
Long.
yeah, it's got a lot of pipes.
You realize
got
you're
a
just
lot-
walking in a circle.
It's got a lot of exposition.
You pass the bodies. No. You have made your way up a couple of levels. You've there's been sort of access ladders and stuff that you've been using. Occasionally, like you come across the elevator and you're like, it is closed down. There is largely no power. Mostly emergency lighting is on at this point. After you've gone up a couple of levels, I'll go ahead and just have everybody roll me a notice and wisdom.
I like this game
shit.
of just keep noticing.
Oh.
Oh no!
No. Oh, I got a really good one.
No,
though.
me and Conrad
Oh,
noticed the
we're
same.
gonna die! And you're on my back too.
What
Or-
did you roll?
We both rolled.
I
got
got double that.
I got three
wow.
because I have
You-
one wisdom.
Oh, okay. I got 2. Thankfully, I upped my wisdom to 0, so I don't take a penalty. at least.
So 8,
9.
4, 3, 9, and 2. Conrad is distracted. As is Kika, probably because they're chattering to each other. There's some competing noise. Ziana is just focused on
claws
like
are really
protecting. She's kind of got that get them up the ladder first. I'll be the one on guard.
You don't need to do anything about it. I'm just letting you know.
Hexie is actually probably the first one who makes it, climbs up the ladder, gets a little bit down the hallway, and hears at the end, maybe 50 meters away, the sound of muffled yelling. There's some sort of what could be a scream, some gasps, some sort of cries of pain, and you see in front of you at least 6 individuals who look like they are sprawled, having died. They're in various states of ragdoll, strewn about the hallway, kind of leading away from you.
Are the bodies damaged or is it blunt force?
We need to get a little bit closer to be completely clear on what it is. You see sort of vaguely what looks to be some sorts of wounds, there's definitely blood on the ground, but it's hard to identify whether or not it was
None of
bullet
them look
or
like they're
stabbing.
gradually turning into hollow or anything
Not
like
that
that.
you can see, not from the distance that you're at.
Reflexively, Hexie will reach over to Ziana and touch her and give her I look for eye contact consent and heal her for 1. What do I get now? Oh, you're at max. You healed up again?
Oh, wait, no, I'm down 2.
Oh, okay. You don't want that then?
Sure. Is anybody else worse off?
I didn't.
I think I'm at 4.
I think we were the only 2 that took it.
Okay, yeah.
Can I heal I can heal myself?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
you still take system strain as normal, but
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well, you get 3 back, and so you're fine. And I get mine back. So
My health points are the answer to the universe and everything.
So it just looks kind of like a shoulder tweak, but we both heal.
Mine are 16.
Mine are significantly less.
Hide behind
Just roll terribly.
Yes, I did. I re-rolled and rolled. I got a 1. and then everything else.
On your
So I
level
like,
up to 3?
yes,
Okay.
I stayed at 16.
So, because you should have rolled for level 1 and then you add either, because you're an expert, so you would add 1d8 and roll 1d8 for level 2 and level 3. Did you do that?
Oh, no, it did not.
Okay, we should level your HP real
Okay.
fast.
I'm gonna just change
You'll be
something
fine.
really fast.
Behind the scenes.
So it's another
So
8.
at level 1, you took 8 and then plus your level, which is 1, and plus a constitution. Do you have any constitution?
that's-
No
that's the base
constitutional
level
modifier.
for level
You started
1.
at 9 at level
Okay.
1. And then level 2, you add your level, which is another 2, plus 1d8, or you can take the average. Which would be 5.
5?
Roll the
What's the
D8.
average? 5?
Take the
No,
average.
it's 4.
It's 5.
Point 4.
Okay, hang on.
4
I've
and
already
a half.
lost myself
It's
on the math
4.5
here.
And you round up.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so
Oh,
we
you're
had
9.
9. I add another 2 for level 2, and then my constitution, which
Wait,
is
you rolled
nothing. But
2?
then, and then I add 6.
There we go.
There we go.
So that's for level 2, and then you add another 3 for
Wait,
level 3.
oh my goodness, my health
Okay.
is so much.
Mind you,
And then either take the average or roll a d8 again.
RHP
Here we go.
is house ruled.
Yes.
Just
So
FYI.
I have house ruled.
See? That's
pulling
why you take the
from
average.
Other D20 systems, which so in Stars of that number, it would just be 1d6, and you roll that at every level. And I thought that was not so good if I didn't want to kill them instantly. So I house ruled a hit die for each class, 1d6 for psionics, experts get a d8, and then warriors get a d10. And you can either take the average or roll, except at first level you take max.
So
You
my
add Constitution and your level, because Constitution for most people is 0. Although if you have a negative Constitution, you would lose it.
for example, my
This game is
first
not kind.
like my first practice session, I had 1 HP, I think.
You had 1 hit point.
Yeah,
you
because I
rolled
rolled a
one.
1.
Which was
D6.
completely within the
too.
rules possible.
Yeah, but now because I rolled really good twice, I have 27 HP.
You know what else has 1 hit point? My
Nice.
drone.
I was like my soul.
Oh.
Oh,
Wait, really?
That's sad about yours.
Yeah,
Soul.
I guess my
You want a
soul's weak.
Band-Aid?
Yeah, but how is it gonna get deep in there?
Open wide.
Ah!
This has become very disturbing.
Really? Why is this table always a disturbing table?
I don't know. You ask the
I
questions.
can think of 3 reasons.
Wow!
So,
Welcome back.
Hexy has, now that we've
Okay.
leveled up.
So I
Did
noticed.
you not add anything?
I
reached
just know
over
I
and-
just
and
re-rolled
healed.
everything, and then I was like, oh, same number as before.
So Hexy
That's cool.
simultaneously meeps everybody.
Thea, you
Well,
look stronger.
holding up because she's seen you do this before. I think she meeps everybody who has a psychic link and says, "We're not alone," and then holds up a fist to Conrad since. And well, simultaneously,
And then we
be
both.
careful. There's someone in the next room.
Okay, Ziana slowly
Yeah, she signaled that.
pulls the sword off of her back and mentally tells those of you who she can to keep behind, but don't stay behind. Don't stay too far behind. Please relay this to Kenny. Sandbars.
That's my
And
bow.
I'm going
And
to
so
start-
I assume there's hand gestures for this, but that's what she just.
yes.
What did you call my mother?
Can you give me a perform? Yeah! Charisma?
You know, that's the skills I have.
Oh my goodness, I've done this in an I've
12.
You fucking nail it. You have watched a lot of videos that are military. Like, a lot of, like, the equivalent of Lifetime movies about military training and, like, being in the academy. And, like, you are surprised, but you understand
Where did she-
clearly every single thing she is hand-signing to you.
Space USO.
They have an entire yeah, you've watched a lot of like boot camp TV show like TV shows.
I think we're like carrying on a bit of a.
tour too. Yeah. For Ica.
please
Yeah.
Spite-
we watch a lot of space.
Oh,
Yeah,
I wonder
so,
if Thea watches them.
We're like having a whole conversation.
Like together.
The conversation passes between Hexy and Conrad in which Conrad understands like there are enemies ahead. we estimate that there are at least 3, and like more than one. Less
One
than
is angry.
20. One is angry. I have heard exactly
Is it-
12 sounds of screaming.
Is it larger than a bread box?
Yes.
12
Bigger than a
sounds
bread
of
box, smaller
screaming.
than a house. 12 sounds of screaming.
So,
11
I'm
dead
gonna-
bodies.
There are 6 casualties strewn about the hallway, and all of that.
5 open wounds. So, with sword in hand, keep control of yourself, Hannah.
Last year I did make the Infect Christmas song. I might could do one for Leviathan.
Oh,
Hey, let's do it.
With sword in hand, Ziana is going to begin advancing down the hall. Not at a jog, but definitely she's not like inch.
Okay. Walking with swiftly and with purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there any like shadows that Thea could hide into?
Once Hexy has pointed out the sounds ahead, all of you are kind of able to make out the sort of distant muffling. You think some of it's sort of bouncing down the hallway. There's definitely something ahead of you in this corridor. But again, it's around space station, so at some point all of the corridors do like begin to curve. So it's not a lot of straight corridors, it's sort of like curving ones, so you don't have full line of sight on whatever it is. This area also has the sort of emergency lighting, that kind of greenish sort of teal color lighting that makes everyone look like they're deadly and dying and sick. And you definitely would be able to kind of blend your way into the shadows here and get some level of concealment.
I would definitely like to do that
Go
while
ahead
I
and
pull out
give
my
me your
knife.
sneak and dexterity. Anyone else? I've got Ziana leading, making her way down the corridor.
Down. Yeah.
Walking fast, sword is drawn.
Dash
She's
bound.
rage bound.
Yeah, rage bound. I like
Wait,
that.
what was your
But it's also
order?
a non-combat.
I was so busy with the sign language,
It
I
was
didn't
to
actually pay attention.
stay back, but not too far back.
Okay.
She wants
Yeah.
to lead.
So that's what Conrad's gonna do.
Okay, so I assume
I want you close enough to shoot things.
Then you can't.
maintaining range distance.
I assume
line
we're
of
kind of
sight.
making a little V around her, like Conrad on one side and I on the other.
Yeah, I mean, Conrad's gonna. It sounds like he's holding back a little bit. Do you want to be up with Ziana? She's probably. I'm gonna say you're maybe 10 meters ahead of Conrad. Does that sound like the distance he's gonna keep?
Yeah.
I'll be like, I'm gonna be like 2 meters behind Ziana.
Okay, so you're
Out
kind
to
of
the
sticking
side,
with.
you know,
off to the
the purples
side.
already looked at their windows.
Thea is. What was your sneaking?
It was a 5.
Okay. Most of you notice Thea
Clump.
just sort of stand next to the wall and start walking next to it.
Over some pots and pans.
Well, there's a lot of garbage just thrown about.
Actually, she's doing pretty good, but then she trips over a body.
Oh,
And you just hear like a sort of a thud and then a little bit of a squelch as she like skids in some blood.
well, at least they're already red.
So Hexy is kind of just back from Ziana. Conrad is another little bit back from that. Kika, who are you
I'm
with?
on Conrad.
You are on Conrad's
He's
shoulder.
got strong legs.
I do.
We've watched.
He's
While he's
got
worked out.
strong legs.
Okay, cool.
Don't give me that look.
I know. There's no look. There's nothing.
You're like, are you sort of perched on my shoulder, kind of like with your
Yeah,
bow
yeah.
drawn?
Like I hold my bow. Of course, I hold it odd because I don't want to hit Conrad's head. Until
I'm not sure how
the
that's
strength,
what keeps.
all the strength is in the reverse grip.
Oh,
It sure is.
I'm still holding on to the hand that you made. I have my knife in one hand and I have the like it's
It's
like
like
melting.
It's melting. There's
just-
water
but
dripping down your
I'm not
arm.
letting go of it.
Remember that at one
But I'm
point
also
we
not
were
drawing attention to it, you guys. That's not what it is.
It's super cool.
I want to just compare our first episode of fighting these things via this episode of fighting things.
I don't.
No one's on drugs yet, so
Yeah.
better.
You said yet. Ugh.
All right,
I said yet. One hand on the
You
can.
didn't get the list of the number of locations in which Space Mountain Dew was stored that we got last episode. It took about 2 minutes.
I mean,
many places.
He
You
has
gotta
a
come prepared.
problem.
Or a solution to a lot of
that's
them.
not a problem.
The
God.
Ica folks are chemically.
There aren't officially like negative qualities or drawbacks in the Stars Without Number system, but if there were,
It is highly addictive.
Oh, that's it. That's fine.
So,
So is coffee.
you begin
Yeah.
progressing down the hallway. Go ahead and give me a notice and a wisdom.
Why?
This is a roll off between you and them to see who sees who.
But that might be a good guy.
Friends
Yeah, friend.
who just want to help us out.
You didn't get higher than 8.
Did you roll double 6? All right.
Boxcars.
I mean, I could have
We help them. You get to
technically.
notice
but
our friends first.
you see friendship ahead of you. You hear the sounds. The yelling is actually in an alarming way is getting quieter. There are fewer yells that you are hearing as you get on the hallway. You hear that kind of, I mean, you hear the wheelhouse scream, like. You hear that sort of pierced sound that is cut off as if someone loses the capacity to create sound midway through screaming. You hear a couple of other cries, and you see someone running towards you, sort of in this panicked whirl of running, not really paying attention, and you just catch as something seems to hit them in the back, and they drop about 5 meters or so in front of you. Beyond that, another 10, 15 meters away, you see what you would at first not recognize to be the Hollow because they don't look like the ones you've seen before, but very quickly they have that familiar appearance, this sort of large, sort of tubular kind of appendages sort of snaking out from the center of their skulls and sort of wrapping into various portions and embedding themselves into various portions of their body. Some of them have that large sort of plating metallic skin on them that you've definitely seen before, that sort of indicates some sort of armor. Those ones have the large claws, and then you see a couple of smaller ones with them that look a lot more familiar to you, like the sort of skittering, long-limbed ones that seem to be like latching onto people and like just tearing at them. Disemboweling in an unpleasant manner, and then one individual, and then another individual who has not quite as intensive plating as the other two, but has sort of a taller, more stature build to them. That same sort of appearance. Some plating along their body, and they have what appears to be some sort of projectile weapon in their hands.
What? They have guns now?
Are they syringes full of murder juice? Like, I don't like it.
So real quick though, earlier, like when we first encountered them, the ones with the tubes coming out of them.
They
were
all have
generally-
that.
Oh, do they? Okay.
That's that is similar to what Aryuta has.
Do any of them look like they have like drippy infecty nails?
Yes.
That's the big platy one in the
Yes.
middle, isn't
That
The
was
two.
That was what I was worried
There
about.
are there are two
cut-off sound.
platy ones with claws. There's one with a projectile weapon, and then there are like 3 other smaller ones.
So 2 infecty ones, one with a gun,
I've got a gun.
and 2 little skittering fuckers.
I'm drawing
Sorry.
a picture, and I narrated my picture while I was
2 skittering fuckers.
Whoa.
Language, I'm sorry.
Oh, that ship sailed a long time.
I appreciate your notes.
They're all my feelings.
You have a moment before they are going to see you.
Okay.
I meet, or do you? Is she the only one that sees them?
Yes, because she
Okay.
is in the front, and
Okay. Can we pass? Can we through our mental link? Can we pass images? I am going to send the 3 of them the image of what I see.
I will convey that as best I can using the
you sort of whirl around, and suddenly Hexy's hands move in a flurry of actions that only Conrad understand.
Oh God. And Ziana does not advance because that would be dumb. But she cannot hide, so she just battle ready.
Okay. In which
there-
case,
Oh, are there any like break-offs along the corridor, rooms or anything like that that we could like?
Go around.
into?
not that. Yeah, there's probably one that you've passed that you could duck into.
but it's
it's a
behind
closed
us.
door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is at least one closed door that you have passed.
Is there anything maybe affixed to the walls or something that I could perhaps tear off and throw in front of me to create some kind of barrier if people need to duck or to create a choke point?
Well, is there?
You're looking for conveniently like waist-high barriers that seem to be littered around the Mass Effect universe.
One that I
Put this here.
create. Like
there a
by
chandelier?
ripping things off with
There's
my
a chandelier.
huge
There's
amounts
lots
of strength.
of piping, which could probably be torn. You might suspect like some of it definitely contains water or some sort of liquid. That
Oh,
could produce steam.
I'm gonna identify a water pipe and pierce it heavily. Pierce it.
Yeah, I'm not sure like pulling a plate
Yes.
off of the wall is going to provide you with a significant amount of cover, but like you could maybe have a temporary bonus to your AC by like ripping a panel off and throwing it in front of you. So okay, go ahead and give me your strength check to grab a pipe from the wall / ceiling and just kind of rip it down. Hexy,
It's just 2d6 plus
I
my
will also
strength.
allow you to have an action if you want to turn this water into steam.
Yeah.
I assume that's what the face was, unless you had something else in
There's
mind.
it depends on where the
Ice.
water lands.
Make the ice.
Yeah.
Make the
Or
ice
make an
block.
ice barrier.
Yeah.
Make an igloo.
Also viable.
Strangling most of Cole
Okay.
sometimes she wants
First,
to.
actually, I was gonna have you, and I'll let you roll a whole new roll because you didn't seem super pleased about that. To give me a, I would either take no or fix, or I would actually take pilot and intelligence because it is knowledge of ships and piping and like quickly reading a pipe to be like, this is one that has water in it. And not the one carrying oxygen that might make things explode.
I mean, explosions might be okay too.
It might be too, but it leads to a different.
Depends where you aim the
And the
pipe.
thing about the explosion is it tends to burn
Double
off the
sixes.
oxygen.
Perfect. You know exactly which pipe. You see a lot, like, and this isn't even a small one. This is a large one. Unfortunately, the one part is, you know, this is probably wastewater. Like, not necessarily
Gray
sewage,
water.
but it's gray water.
Cottage.
Like because it's a big pipe and it's gonna have a significant volume. Even if it's not actively moving, you will get a good amount of water coming
That's
out
fine.
of this pipe.
That's fine.
Like gray water is like dishwater.
Yeah, it's like dishwater, shower water. Like it's not water you want to drink,
not
but
black
it's not
water.
got feces in it.
That's
Good.
that's the rule.
I mean,
The kind that gets purified later and
Hopefully.
reused on a space
Yeah.
station because
Yeah.
they have no other choice.
That if anybody has seen the new It movie, that part bothered me. He was like, "It's gray water, it's gray water." I was like, "Nah, son, that's black water." So for my strength, I just rolled a
There's a
2d6
clown.
plus my strength, right? All right.
Actually, in this case, I'll take exert.
I like our table.
9.
yeah.
9.
We have a good
You
hurts.
get your arms around this pipe and with a tug, you rip it, and a torrent of several gallons of
tug.
water, a lot of it splashes on you.
That's fine.
Begins pouring down.
Not dainty.
Hexy, you can take one action, and then I'll have everyone roll initiative.
All right, so I've already committed the effort for thermokinesis because I made the hand earlier, so
Okay.
that's already happened. So I'm just gonna.
What is the
I don't
captain
think
doing?
it doesn't say that I have to do a skill roll, so I don't know if you want me to do a skill roll for this.
I will have you
That's
give me
how
a
it is.
telekinesis just to see how like a your telekinesis skill roll.
for thermokinesis or telekinesis?
Thermokinesis.
Okay.
To just see how effective this is at turning it into the thing that you want it to be.
Okay.
So what are you aiming to create?
So Hexy has two ideas in her head before the water comes down. One of them is steam and you know sort of obstruction, but that cuts both ways. Whereas if she can somehow just freeze the water that's on their side of the battle, essentially on the ground, and make
Okay.
it slippery, so it's harder for them to approach us.
Okay, so your goal is to either freeze the water on the ground or freeze like
Unless it looks like there's a really good way that we can get a barrier, but the barrier is also going to prevent us from hitting them. So I want a one-sided obstruction instead of
Yes.
2. So that would be a 9.
You're able, probably the most successful is going to be freezing the water on the ground. So you manage to kind of throw it using a small amount of like your telekinesis, and you throw it sort of away from Ziana. So basically the floor in front of Ziana and sort of onwards for about 5 meters just becomes like slick with ice. It's not quite the whole corridor, but getting past it's going to take a little bit of extra movement. It's not going to be as easy to get past without walking on the ice. And you get like a solid sort of inch of just like gray water ice that lines the floor like black ice, sort of snakes its way out, and you see like the spread of it, and then the sort of trails off into some slush and water.
And if anyone needs me to melt it, just let me know.
Hope they brought their bat skates.
She motions to you and
Never
expresses
mind.
that she will melt it on demand if you need it. You know, melt you.
And with that, roll
Batman
initiative.
Robin.
Take a D.
1d8.
Oh!
This is the part of the show where I have to remember which one to go.
About this.
I literally had a D8 earlier.
Woo! Do we add our level?
Yay!
We add our dexterity, right?
You add your dexterity.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun,
Rolling
dun.
garbage except for a couple times, and I rolled really well.
Sorry,
So that
I
means
left
you're
my,
not.
my
Like,
cards.
that's statistics.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
an easier way to do that number.
You know
Ziana.
what, math teacher? I don't need to hear it.
Ziana is a 2. Hexy is a 4.
I've been
Kika is a
shamed.
1.
I've been shamed.
Oh.
Hexy was 4, right?
Correct.
Are you a butterfly?
Conrad was 8.
Mhm.
And Thea?
8.
Do I get a bonus
I
to the
feel less
Conrad's
special.
back?
now,
Nope.
but
I'm sorry.
about- that's
but
alright.
You know,
I mean, I know I'm special.
Thea is
So.
pretty awesome.
And with that,
Our average is higher than yours.
8s
missed.
are going to go first. So Thea and Conrad, I will have you both describe what you would like to do, and then we'll figure out what order it makes sense for that to be resolved in. So the two of you, what you see in front of you. First, Thea, you receive like a flashing image of someone being disemboweled, a shot as someone falls to the ground, and then you see in front of you this torrent of grayish water come pouring down and get splashed across the hallway floor and frozen into these sort of fractal patterns of ice across the floor. It's very pretty.
Of course it is. It sparkles just a
It
little
does
bit.
sparkle. It may or may not be because there's like mineral deposits or like, you know, bits of crap in
Vitamin.
the water. So that sparkle.
That might be the sparkle.
But it's very pretty nonetheless. And Conrad, you see all of this without the flashes of images. You just see the water get thrown and the ice begin to form. What do you do?
Right. What can I see, like, in terms of the enemies? Like, do I see
You
where I am?
are probably you don't have a great line of sight from where you are. You need to move up just a little bit to get closer to Ziana because she was pretty much kind of around the curve where she got to see them. You have like an edge of, you see probably one of the like smaller, longer limbed ones, and then one of the larger plated armored hollow.
So I'm probably gonna go for the big guy. I'll say, permission to open fire, Captain.
Granted. Light him up.
All right. And I'll step into what I think is like a good position to actually like get a shot on my target, and I'll take that shot. Not great, but I've got some things that I add, so.
Do it.
Chunky salsa? What?
14.
Grenades.
14
Yeah.
against the armored.
Yes.
You miss.
What? The one with the gun.
What did you roll?
14.
And that missed? Oh,
Against
God.
the one with the
Yeah.
gun.
Were you
Yeah,
rolling against the one with the
against-
gun, or no? You don't
No,
see the
no.
one with the gun.
Against
was-
the armor?
Against the
Oh.
one
You
with
said
the armored plating.
the big one is the one I'm
Yeah,
going at.
the brutes.
Okay.
Wait. I'm
So
sorry.
the two infectory ones are the ones with the armor.
Okay.
Then there's the one with the gun who apparently also has a ridiculous amount of.
He didn't shoot at it.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No, he shot
and
at
then
the
there's the
armor
one
guy.
with the gun, and then there's the two little tissue paper skittery fuckers.
I don't know. They're
So-
tissue paper. They're tough.
There,
Comparatively.
if I were to put this in D&D, there's the boss, there's the minions,
Yeah.
and there's the tanks.
So, in this line of gray icy
Yeah.
gray water, does it spread all the way across? Like, if for me to get behind them, do I need to cross this ice?
You can get around it, but it is a pretty thorough covering because your intention was to make it harder for them to cross. So there's like a little bit of a footpath that you could take, but it would be probably require a skill check to make it across that distance.
Remind me, can I delay my turn?
Mhm.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Seeing this splash of water come towards them and someone take a shot at them. The large, one of the large brutes is going to kind of hunker down slightly and try and cross the ice.
Oh, he's gonna go.
See if they can.
Do they know what? Do they know what ice is?
like
Yes.
death band.
Probably. But Death Bambi does not roll well. And kind of like is slowly made their way like onto the
But are
ice,
they-
but they're kind of sort of hestantly.
Is it-
They're not able
they're-
to
Is it like
continue
deadly
moving.
but also sort of adorable?
Yeah, like there's
Well,
a
like,
little,
one, like,
there's a
goes
little
up
bit
and is like-
of a cuteness. One of the other ones, though, the one like pulls up these like dripping hands, having just like disemboweled a poor individual, and like sees that is going to leap onto the pipes on the side and
No! They're doing the thing that I usually
This
do.
is another one.
no,
Uh-oh.
this is one of the small ones.
Okay.
The tissue paper. The crawlers. Which I will shall refer to them as.
crawlers. Crawlers.
I've got brute and crawlers.
Yeah.
So one of the
I
crawlers.
think calling them crawlers.
And in my
are good.
head, I'm gonna make that sound like crawlers, which is like a donut, which makes them less
Oh,
scary.
like
Makes them
coolers.
less terrifying. One of the crawlers manages, makes its way across, but that takes its entire turn. Is just crossing the distance, and so it's pretty close now to Ziana. Would definitely be within melee range, and it's sort of like, on like kind of like half against the wall, like. Except they have no mouths. I just want to be clear: they're fucking creepy. They have no mouths and these fractalized eyes. Next, the leader is going to move, seeing Ziana, is going to raise up their plasma rifle and to take a shot.
Come at me, bro.
They're going to come at you with a nat 20.
I have been come at.
They have added you!
You down the
Oh my
gauntlet.
god!
They have
been added.
added!
How fucking dare you?
And you will
They've
take
added
Get
you.
out of my mentions.
They've
10
repeated
points
you.
of damage.
10?
It's max
Okay.
damage when you crit.
Okay then. That's
That's
not
not
then.
the worst it could be.
No,
Okay,
I know.
then.
See, those 2 points of healing.
Like,
I know.
Stares you
no.
down with its fractalized eyes, lifts up
Does
the
it
rifle,
have a
and
pair
this
of goggles that's
bolt
like-
of energy, of plasmatic energy just
Nice.
sort of slams into you and spreads out, and kind of you feel like the muscles all contract as the like burning tears at your flesh. The other two are going to attempt to cross the distance.
No.
That one makes it most of the way across. It like gets down and sort of like just like seeing the other one like try and cross on 2 feet. The second brute just like digs into it and makes a way about halfway across.
It's crawling.
And I know unhappily, and then the crawler is still distracted by eviscerating. It's like compound eyes. No, they're fractal eyes.
Ooh.
Sorry,
Like-
fractal eye.
Eyes with
Would
an.
Fractal have to pay you for the sponsor?
Does that mean they're like eyes within eyes within
Yeah.
eyes, like going?
Oh god, this
Yeah,
is not,
they're creepy as fuck.
Are they that one
Um,
evil painting, like perfect spiral kind of eyes?
Yes.
If you stare into their eyes and like let your own eyes go unfocused, you see the shape of a butterfly.
Yes, it's like one of those paintings.
I thought it was
They're
just
magic
sunset.
eyes.
So the two brutes are both on the ice. One of them does not look stable and will be taking penalties. The other one is like hunkered down and about halfway across the ice. And one crawler is at the other is at the far end, and the last crawler has made it across.
It's on the wall.
And there's only one that is near you. That puts it at Hexie's turn.
Oh God, Hexie is conflicted. She looks at the guys who are on the ice and considers fanciness, but she feels like the gun guy is extremely dangerous. So she's gonna go ahead and attack. Use her psionic pistol, which she summoned with her mind. She will fire at showfully at that guy.
Yeah, I just assume there's always a spin, and then a spin,
There's
and
always
then
a
a
spin,
spin, and then it
yes,
fires,
yeah.
and like...
Sometimes it's more showy than useful. That's a 13.
That will just miss. Guy with the gun.
Well, we're off to a good start.
Yeah, things are going great. Thermokinesis, can I use it as a free act? Or like, no?
No,
Change the
it's...
state of matter.
Changing the
on
state of
fly.
matter would be your action. I see what you were thinking. Wouldn't have been a bad idea.
But
But shooting's also cool.
But also shooting is
Dangerous
cool.
guy.
No, I see. It's a
dangerous
conflict.
guy.
It's conflict. There's not necessarily a right answer in this case.
Only wrong ones.
Only.
There's no right answer.
Ziana.
I feel like we're several wrong ones in.
Kika, hold on. I'm trying to plan.
Okay.
So, Ziana, priority really is to try and not let anything get past her. Because if I have to put down frickin' Carl's Jr.,
She'd be like old Yeller.
if I have to take him behind the shed, then
Then I'm gonna have to make a shed out of ice, and this is gonna take a while.
I'm just saying it's gonna ruin my afternoon, and so
Oh, I'm sorry about your
funeral.
afternoon.
Well, you'll be dead, so your afternoon will be fine.
Well, it depends on when this all takes place.
so
Sooner than any of us hoped.
because Carl's Jr. has a thing about his bodily autonomy, I'm just going to Ziana takes her sword and towards the one that is closest on the wall and strikes at it, hoping to do some damage to knock it off the wall. Who knows? I mean, it'll be great. It'll be great is what I'm saying. Which one of these
I'm
am I
expecting
gonna roll? I'm not rolling.
something great.
I'm gonna roll this one. Okay.
Does any of us hit it then? No one's done damage this round.
So far.
No.
None of us have done damage.
We've missed
I
stuff
slowed
pretty
them
well.
down.
did.
But I also held
20
off
to
on
I
my turn.
only could attack one of you this turn.
20 to
Yeah, that hits beautifully.
I can hit things.
You slice it and possibly dice it.
Beautiful.
Then I
Exactly.
roll. And then I rolled 1 damage, so 2 damage.
Two damage.
Did you add my strength?
Oh, I didn't add my strength.
You lost
Yes.
strength.
Damn, 4.
There we go.
Yeah, you also
Nice.
have whatever the minimum damage.
That's the minimum, though,
Yeah.
right? Like that's like 2, I think.
Yeah. All right. You deal a good chunk of damage.
That
You like slice up, and like some of its sort of iridescent oil, like blood splatters across the wall.
She's also, as she does it, going to like trying to make herself a big
Oh,
target.
attracting.
Oh, you're doing the like look at me, I'm
I
the
believe
large.
it's the combat equivalent of at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. At me.
Yeah.
Which has gone well so far.
All right. Kika, and then Thea, we will be at the end of the turn. So
I would like to take my turns back to back if I can.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to draw my bow at the crawler on the wall and try to finish it off, or like pin
The one
it
that
down.
Ziana is attacking. Okay. Take your shot.
Well, that's not bad. Okay. 11 plus 2 is 13.
That will
plus
hit.
1 is 14.
That will hit.
You did it. You hit a
7.
guy.
7.
And you did more damage than I did.
And with
Not
that,
bitter.
with that,
She hit a soft spot.
she like Ziana
cut it open.
sets it up.
You
I've
cut it
got the
open and
armor.
I got inside the armor.
And then,
softened it up
Kika knocks it down or shoots it down. An arrow like slices through its throat and pings against the wall.
Can it
as
like be
it's-
stuck there? Can it be pinned in the wall because it's a creepy crawl?
The arrow lands in its neck, and for a moment it looks like it's going to be pinned there, but then the weight and gravity of its body causes the arrow to slide through its neck as
Captain,
it
I got it.
slumps to the
Much
ground.
worse.
Gianna looks over her shoulder. If you've ever seen that one gif of the 70s looking trapper dude, looks over her shoulder.
Thea, you will take both your turns back to back. But,
And-
actually, no, you can't do that because when you delay, you drop yourself to that new place in the
So you
turn
will
order.
always
So you
be
will
at
always
the
be
end.
last now.
Oh.
But then you're first.
Okay, I didn't realize. Okay.
Because now you're still at the top.
No,
She'll
no,
always
no,
be
no.
last.
You don't keep your old initiative when you delay. That's just your new spot.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize.
That's a bummer.
That is a bummer. That is a bummer.
But now you learned something new about RPGs.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
did.
sorry,
I'm
that's-
learning new
I
things all the time.
didn't
Hey,
remember
we
that.
forget that like RPG knowledge, like soft skills of RPGs. I guess it's not a soft skill. 'Cause soft skills like writing.
Well,
and
it's
stuff.
always. I mean,
Well.
each game is a little.
Every
different.
system
Anyway,
is
the
a little
point
different.
is-
Sometimes
the
you
point
just
is-
like skip and pass your turn, and that's all you do.
Yeah.
But most of the time, yeah, in this one, and the same with like D&D, if you delay your turn, that becomes your new spot in the initiative order.
Place. Okay, so in this case, I would. We have the one guy who's on the halfway across the ice. We have the guy who's
There's two that are on the ice. One who seems
more stable than the
more
other.
stable than the other. One who's wibbly wobbly, and the other one who's stoic and stable. And then there's one that is dead, and then another crawler that is still across the other side, along with the shooter.
Yeah. So I want to throw.
A rifle.
Just own.
Actually, I have my knife. I have my
The
knife.
thing that
out
I'm
right now.
surprised you haven't done is someone who's like into throwing stuff. Why you haven't gone into like grenades?
I know, right?
Well, she hasn't found one yet.
I
There's not
haven't.
that box of
I haven't
grenades.
found
First she has to
anything.
steal a
Really
grenade.
opposed to purchase.
But don't worry, I have some really good weapons in town.
To throw.
To throw. Paper, right at them. Paper cuts.
Here's a ream of paper.
a ream of
it's been
paper that
fun.
hits you in the face.
Oh,
That could
you
cause
should
some
try a
damage.
bag of
I can
oatmeal.
help with that.
Can I actually
I thought it was a good
holster
one.
my knife and pull my rifle and throw it in the same round? No.
Have to holster it,
Let
or can
me
you just
double
use,
check.
like,
Yeah,
No,
so
it's a free
Because
eye
I'm still
action.
holding my hands. So that's the thing.
You can try.
yeah, so readying or stowing an item, like so switching. I think. Is there single-handed weapons? I would say you can hold one and like you can switch one to your offhand and then
okay.
like use it. I think if you were trying to do two, I would probably say you would need to take an action to do one of those. But
Okay.
so what are you trying to draw?
I want to throw my rifle, but I have my knife in my hand.
I would say throwing your rifle makes it a single-handed thrown weapon. That is. It's not really it's not a rifle at this point. You're just picking up an object.
It's a
So I would
baton.
say you can like switch your hand and then just grab the rifle and hurl it.
Okay.
One is as your sort of free action, and then the other one is your main action.
Okay, that's what I would like to do, and the way that I want to throw. I saw that. Sometimes I can be good throwing it eventually. Anyway, the point is, she wants to throw
Same
it.
rifle that you
Yes, we stole it in, in
it's
episode 0.
Yeah, I
Identity.
stole
Oh,
this
yeah.
rifle in
Okay.
episode
This
0.
rifle will need to be. I should keep track of how many times you've thrown it because at some point it will need to be repaired before it can function as a rifle.
But
again.
Oh.
but
that's
it could
fair.
forever be
I
a
thought you were
throwing
going to say it was
club.
going to level up.
The magic card you just hit things with to level up.
The rifle it takes to telecommunicate.
Ideally, I'd like to throw it like low to the ground so that it knocks him off his feet
Oh.
and like makes him try to get back up. I'm hoping with the ice.
Which one? The one who's wobbly?
more stable.
Okay.
more
They are
stable.
taking some penalties for their racy.
Yeah.
So give me a
wait.
exert
Oh.
and strength to throw this
Oh.
object.
Well, I have neither of those.
Oh,
But a strength I'm in 0 at. Okay.
Do you have dexterity?
Oh, wait, why am I trying to roll with this?
That's
no,
right.
it's a
That's
d20
right.
to
That
roll.
is right.
This is an
Okay.
attack roll, so you're going to roll your exert and actually do exert and dexterity
Okay.
to throw it and aim.
Oh.
16.
You will hit them.
Oh no, 15.
15.
Still hit.
It does hit them. Yes.
Is this the other
because they are taking penalties.
the
This is one of the
strong
brutes.
One of the brutes.
The one that is, so you sort of clock them in what you're not sure is like ankle joint or knees because they have the digigrage legs, and so it's sort of the
so
like
cool.
like this point here, and you sort of
So
kick
jealous.
one of the legs out from under them. I'm gonna say because you're using this as a knockdown or sort of like a destabilizing attack, you're not gonna deal any damage with it.
Okay.
But they are knocked down, so
Set 'em
they're
up.
Down.
they will be taking continued penalties.
Requires being on
So
the ice.
they slip out. One of their legs knocks out from behind them, and they just sort of like end up kind of claws into the ice.
Thea's like. That's all she does.
And then the rifle,
Sometimes you're a little scared.
and the rifle does like a spin and then just crashes into the wall.
I guess that's gone forever.
And that's Thea, and then that puts it at Conrad's turn.
All right.
Broken?
So I'm gonna go for
Just keep
the
track of
for
how
the
many
down
throws.
brute. And I found this out. This is a thing that exists. I'm gonna put my rifle into burst mode.
Yes.
Which
Great
is.
veteran of you.
So it consumes more ammo.
So it goes da 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 da.
But it does
Triple
more
attack.
damage and has more accuracy. So here we go. Son of a- All right, hang on. He's downed. I got a lot of bonuses. Let's see if we can make this work. 10.
What? No.
God damn it! I rolled a 3.
Even with the prone bonuses. So actually,
Don't be
no,
nice.
they have
I was
too
like,
much armor.
don't
I was
be
gonna be like,
nice.
so a standard person has an AC of 10 with no armor. Like that's the sort of default, like the lowest AC that anyone has for having flesh. So even with them being prone, their
Y'all are
AC
too
was
distracted with your hand jive.
a little bit.
It's happening.
That was
These
a
guys
14.
have been.
Yeah, that would have definitely hit. All right. That one is going to spend its movement. Like it looks like Bambi. It's gonna awkwardly like try and get. It loses all sense of threatening nature as it scrambles to its feet. The other one is going to.
What's tone? What's tone?
The second brute, so one brute has got back up onto its feet on the ice. The second brute manages to crawl its way across the ice.
No!
They consume their next move action doing that, but they are now next to Ziana.
Sweet. What is next to me?
The brute.
So brute one has crossed
one.
the ice.
Yes.
Yes.
Brute
And
one
brute
has crossed the ice.
two
There's thing
is
1 and thing
mid-ice.
2.
The other crawler, now seeing that it should maybe stop disemboweling, for whatever reason, leaps onto the other wall from the previous crawler and like tries to pull itself.
You don't need that.
Oh my goodness.
Did I make anything?
No, it was
Just
just
a
the
cage.
scream that terrified me.
Super profesh. And crawls its way across the piping.
Is it doing the
using
same
its
thing as its
action.
friend?
Yes.
Oh.
And makes its way across using its action to do that. The last one with the rifle is going to take a shot at the person who said "at me" again.
Don't roll another 20.
I didn't, but what's your AC?
16?
They miss.
Yeah.
What is your armor made
Finally.
The tears and blood of my enemy.
That's why her skin is red.
of?
I expect.
And that
Got
puts
you
it
salty.
at Hexy's turn.
So when I look at
Oh,
the
it
ice
should be?
rink, how many enemies are currently standing over ice?
One.
Just one. And what about gun guy over there?
Gun guy is away from the ice.
Far away from ice. Okay. How's benefit then? Just gonna. The brutes. There's still 2 of them, right?
Yep.
And there's one that's close,
One that's next to Ziana, one that's on the ice.
and one is on the ice. And I will look over at Ziana and see which one she wants me to she eye contacts a particular. She nods her head at a particular enemy.
She's gonna nod her head at the brute in front of her.
Okay, great. I will. Is that within melee range of me?
Yeah, if you've moved up to, if you are in melee range of it, it is in melee range of you.
Melee does the shock damage thing, right? So there's a minimum amount of damage I do.
Yes, but I don't think your telekinetic weapon has a shock value. I don't actually know what the shock,
Sword.
like your... We'd have to look at...
Okay, we'll just
Shock
do
values
a gun
on
for
sword.
now. We'll just do a gun for now. It's fine.
Oh.
Oh, it's okay. It's not gonna. It's probably not gonna hit. 'Cause that's,
down.
that is.
3 divided by
Wait,
2.
do we get attack bonus in addition? Okay, so that's
1.5.
So
11.
you do that plus
11
your
will
attack
miss.
bonus plus your skill.
Oh,
plus
so
your
shock
attribute.
also only applies
Oh.
if their AC is a certain number below.
okay.
So what is your thing is supposed to be a sword? Do you know what category that fits under? Is it like a advanced or primitive weapon?
I think that would be primitive.
Or what? Either way, it would be, in either case, let's do this one. It would be, what's your dice damage on it? Is it 1d8 or 1d6?
1d8.
1d8. So it would be 2 points of shock if their AC is 13 or below. That'd be the medium advanced weapon. So if they have an AC of 13 or below, you deal 2 points of shock damage.
Oh, because they're like, aha,
Yeah.
here's my electricity to your leather armor.
Yeah. So you can,
That's what
if
they
you note
like.
that down, then yes, it'll apply
I
shock
don't
if their
think they
AC is low
do.
enough.
Stabbed.
Yeah, it says 13. Anyway, 11 on the gun. Since I didn't.
That will miss.
I like it.
He's not having a good time of things.
Uh,
This die needs to go in the cage.
Okay. Cage. Cage it.
Cage
We
that.
shall cage the die.
No.
Yes.
Going
Yes.
in the boo boo
Are you gonna say
box.
no
Yeah.
when you die because my die is not hitting
I'm
any
just
enemies?
stating, we have to come up with a program because it's just gonna go back in the box. It's not gonna escape the system.
No, this is how it learns.
This is shaming it. Shaming it into functioning.
Shame.
It's the
Um,
only way anyone ever learned
Ziana.
anything.
It's
putting them in the
it's the
cage.
table to cage pipeline. Okay, Ziana. So there's a brute in front of me. There's a crawler also within striking distance,
Yep.
right? But the crawler is not going to convert anyone to its freaky religion. So I am going to. So Ziana squares up to the brute and takes her swing. And probably misses. 14.
Oh, that'll miss.
That's what I thought.
God damn it.
That really frightens
Need a
me because my.
I rolled
Wait, who
really
did you-
shitty.
Who were you
I
going
am-
after? The shooting guy
The
or
brute.
the
No, the
brute?
brute.
The
Brute
shooting
number one
dude
that's
is
right in front
not
of you.
My
in
2
my
shots
range.
I've taken were a
Okay.
3 and a 4.
Yeah,
Shoot
that's
something else.
not gonna. It's very unlikely to hit even something with not a good AC. All right, Kika.
Well, I keep following the captain's lead, so I'm gonna also try to take a shot at the one who is the brute who is slowly getting up. Because I'm hoping he's off.
What's the shock damage for your AC? What's the AC for your shock damage?
Oh, I don't know. It's a primitive weapon, though. So probably the same as it
Yeah,
was for
I think
her.
all of them are at 13 or 15. So, not
You have
quite
to hit
good.
something. You have to like be able to hit the broadside of a barn.
No, it's that the shock damage is their AC needs to be low enough for it to apply, and they're all 13 or 15. So
Okay.
with these brutes,
Shock
it
damage
doesn't
is
do
like
anything.
the mass of it would hurt you even if the blade didn't get you on the
Yeah,
head.
it's like it like smacked you on the side of the face. It still hurts.
I am
Sure
going
does.
to shoot at that one. Okay. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna get there. But maybe 11. 12.
That will miss. Several shots are aimed at the large brute, like the arrow ting, pings off of the armor. The sword goes wide
I know, right?
My
in a
bonus is
low guttural
plus
growl.
1 to my attack rolls. So
I had 6, so I really have no excuse.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not the one who
I-
should be hitting.
Nope.
I'm currently adding 7 with my burst mode.
You
And I
also
still
have no
can't hit.
excuse.
You know.
Yeah, you
I still can't
two
hit the
just
broadside
rolled
of the
shitty. Next
Station.
is going to be Thea.
Okay, so we have the guy, the brute that's right there, and we haven't done any damage to him yet.
Nope.
Okay.
But we also have a skittering, like, minion of
Yeah.
hell that's probably going to get past me in the
That's
next
coming
round.
across.
There is a creepy, crawly, tiny, whiny little.
Is he past me yet? Am I behind him?
I imagine him as that
They're
little
like
Line.
ice,
guy.
and they're here.
They're like right there. Okay.
And then you're, assume, a little bit farther back because you didn't try and cross the ice.
No, I didn't try and cross the ice.
The dark crystal.
Skeksis?
Yes, I think he's a Skeksis. He's a Bug Skexy.
And the brutes are like the big things that come after them and destroy the workshop.
Okay, I think I'm gonna.
Yes.
I've got my knife, so I'm going to.
Get vertical. You could be
Right.
adding 8.
I mean, we all want to be vertical right now.
Right now, I
Now everyone's getting
There is
vertical.
smoke
The
bomb
captain told me
vertical.
not to get vertical, so I'm trying not to get vertical.
Ooh. Sorry, Thea, I interrupted you.
I think I want to like try and sneak behind the little guy, the creepy crawly guy.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me your dexterity and sneak.
Sorry, Skexy.
Although pretty soon I'm gonna go horizontal, I think.
That's what we're trying to prevent by keeping the brute
Okay.
where he is.
It appears to be distracted by the fighting over there, and you're kind of able to like slide around it. Are you trying to get across the ice, or what?
No, I just want to get past him and stab him in the back.
Okay. You
Yeah.
believe it is unaware of your presence, and you will be able to stab it once before it becomes aware of your presence.
Perfect. I would like to stab
Yeah.
it.
Typically, you become aware of something after it stabs you. All right. That brings us back up to Conrad's turn.
All right. Here's what I'm doing. I'm shooting from a prepared firing position, which is +2. Because I think by
Okay,
my third shot,
how-
I should be pretty prepared.
No, a prepared would be like putting it on a tripod or
No.
something,
Or
Never
like
mind that
taking
then.
the moment,
like
taking
taking
the breath.
Tried.
taking an action to prepare.
All right.
It's where you pause and you.
Let's
you
face
wait.
it, none of us are really prepared, are
No,
We're
no,
the,
we're not.
We're the L team.
I
We're
had
that
to
far
try.
down the
Oh my
alphabet.
fucking god!
No!
in the
Banish it!
Be nice, guys.
No! Cage the dice!
Cage the dice! Cage the dice!
You stay in
Look,
there.
we
You think
we
about
can't
what you
afford
did.
a large-scale rehabilitation program. The cages are only option when so many dice fail so hard.
You stay in that gibbet.
What-
You think
what did
about
you
your
actually
life
roll?
choices.
A 2.
Yeah, that won't hit.
Yeah.
9.
No, it won't.
This week in.
Leviathan.
I was like, what's the name of our show?
You remember last week when I kept missing you? That's how it felt!
I've got one hand on the Space Mountain Dew too. Just like
You're itching.
God.
You are itching for it.
feeling the itch to get
You're,
vertical.
yeah, you are. All right. The brute's gonna go. The brute, its large claws are going to and try and rake at me. The one that has called their attention.
I hope your workout shirt is just like one of those 80s tees that's just like at me.
Oh jeez. Really?
Did I get another 20?
Did you really?
Oh God.
What?
Now I'm down to 22.
Oh, welcome
actually,
to the club!
Welcome to
actually,
Oh shit, no, this is a different one.
yeah.
This is the brute.
Oh no.
How bad is it, Captain?
Give him the brute.
Doesn't she have immunity to the brute because she has a weird arm?
You have immunity to not being infected,
Yeah, I
but it's
know.
14 damage.
Okay. Alright then.
Wow.
Alright then.
Let's push the ship into the
Let's cage Lawrence die.
I want to point out this is the die I stole from a Girl Scout.
Oh God. That's where it gets its
That's
power.
why it's-
Me and
we
this
won't.
die have a tumultuous relationship because sometimes it forgets I'm not its rightful owner.
And then
So,
it's like, oh wait,
I'm down
I've
to
been changed.
18.
Oh, that's not.
So are you visible? Is she visibly?
I am-
visibly?
Visibly
this-
She is visibly bleeding.
Was it a punch stab or like what
It
does it
just
look like?
like its claws just
tear into
rip off
and
like
like
a chunk.
scales come off.
Oh, not the scales.
Yeah, there is bleeding.
Does it cut through my
Uh,
leather?
Ziana roars, maybe not quite ferociously this time. Ah!
The one with the gun is going to feel like
Leave
you are under
because he's
control
feeling like his minions
and
are going
aim
to take
for
care of
you.
this.
You're 18 fucking AC.
It's actually 17.
Oh,
figured
it's
it out
only
fast.
17.
Better armor in season 2.
But seeing the telekinetic, and they're going to miss horribly, quite horribly, in fact. And they do, in fact. Their shot goes wide. The plasma bolt pings off of the ice and ends up hitting the crawler.
Boy, not the
rolled a one.
crawler.
This die just remembered it's not supposed to be mine.
Wait, is he boo booed?
He is boo-booed.
The
Why
crawler
are
is
you- why are
wait,
you
wait, the crawler that's
lamenting?
Because his
Wait.
friend hit him
Yes.
from behind. Imagine the
We're all gonna die in the next 10 minutes.
Wait, is this the creepy crawly that I'm right behind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, that's not a very powerful shot. So the crawler takes a couple points of damage, and it it would scream if it could, and you see some blood
Does it
welling
make
up
like
on
a
its
sort of
leg.
chittering noise like that?
Yeah, just like that, really cute. And the other brute stood up, finally makes its way across the ice.
I kept him down for as long as I could.
There was 3 rounds that he could not attack.
So Brute
Yes.
1 and 2 are
That was 3
more
rounds.
rounds than
Neither
we
we
had.
couldn't.
Yeah.
And that is where we're going to pause and take a break.
My turn next.
It will be. We will begin at Hexy's turn. We are going to pause there, and maybe they'll survive.
We have one more show.
Don't go
so
anywhere.
something-
We will be right back. We only have
It'll be
one more
one shot.
episode of season 3. It's going to
Don't
be...
forget to do the stuff.
We are going to read tips. That's the important thing.
There-
Don't
yeah,
go anywhere yet.
read
Yeah.
them.
Donations.
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 $515 worth.
Thank you.
Oh,
Holy
you know this is our last
shitballs.
episode.
Oh.
They're sponsoring their character reroll episode
Yeah.
next
Okay.
week.
God.
That's... I'm
Were
going to
they-
look for the
were they
correct
watching?
date.
Yay,
Yes, reroll.
TPK, thanks, Demolition.
But here's the thing: we gotta bring in brand
No.
new, exciting
I gotta
characters
refresh.
that
I
are
was
not
like, none
Kika.
of this
Maybe
is
Kika's
today's date.
No.
child.
If Kika gets hurt, Thea's gonna go fucking nuts.
Well, it's okay if
Thea's
Thea
dead.
gets.
It's-
Well, Thea's a survivor. I don't know.
okay.
Thea won't die. She'll just blend in like a chameleon to the side of the wall.
Yeah,
Okay,
but don't be
I would
like
just
that
like to point out
anybody could see her.
that I am the huge brick wall standing between
Your healing
basically
is fast enough to work in combat, too.
you
Yeah, I'm pretty
three
sure, yeah.
and certain death. She might be.
All right. We have so many sponations.
Wait, what?
Yes,
Aiden. Our first phonation is from Fractali, like the aliens. With $50. Yay! Here's happening Leviathan back and making Wednesday super awesome. Also, full cast hype. Good luck against the Red God. Noble crew.
Thank you.
Wait, you think we're a noble?
so much.
I think you are. You went in to certain doom to rescue people you don't even know.
Not Thea.
It's
And
getting more and
already
more
don't
certain
like.
by the day.
Already
And don't like. Next up is from B Hunter S with $10. First time catching. Y'all love this show. Welcome in. Thank you so much. If you are confused about anything that is happening on this show, don't worry, we are too. But also we have a Wikia, and you can head over there and you can get lots of information about all our weird lingo, like what the heck is Ica? What's a raise? Why are people drinking Spountain Dew?
Space
There we go.
What was that person's name?
B Hunter S.
B Hunter S. Welcome. Yay.
I
So
think
thank
you're
you.
an A
Welcome in.
hunter.
Oh.
Okay. Next up is Tahuds. I see lots of your name on this list, Tahuds. Go take your drugs, Tahuds.
Well,
Hope you feel better to us.
Yeah, my God, you broke your fucking foot. All right, $50. Welcome back, Thea. Sarah, you were missed. Also, hi all. We love you equally.
is that all caps?
Thank you,
Yes,
Tahuds.
there's a reason I
So
yelled
long
it.
as it's all caps, then I understand.
Please feel better.
And then William_TW with $25. Nice
Thank
to
you.
see Thea back. Let's get off this safe, undangerous situation. Feels like episode 9 was yesterday. Kind of was for me, actually.
Oh, I get the joke.
Our intrepid manager of our Wikia.
Yes.
Wikia plug. Next is Tahuds with $4.99. Anna, you are missing out on so much troll sub gifting. We need another unique show. My pitch, watch cartoons with Claudia on Saturday mornings. Okay, here's the thing that I want to exist more than many things in the world is Claudia teaches Dan about anime.
We haven't set that up
Yeah,
yet. We
that's,
said we already wanted to do that.
It'll be a lot of takes to the camera like this.
Oh, Jim Halberts.
I mean,
You really should just maintain that face permanently for the
The
entire
first episode
thing.
would be
It will
me
be easier.
explaining Utena Prince Sama, which means I get to rewatch
jeez.
Utena Prince Sama.
wait.
So,
Does this have anything
anyway.
to do with, never mind,
No,
we'll talk about
before
it later.
before
Yeah.
No,
before
it's
she
a
goes into it.
different group of voices.
Next is Tahuds with $5. Damn, Lauren, working out some anger from those kids or mirroring them. Also, Claudia, don't throw raccoons. They might be garbage pandas, but they wash their food before and therefore are cute. and are therefore cute. I'm having a hard time reading. My favorite is the raccoon trying to wash its cotton candy.
It makes me sad because it doesn't
And anytime they're washing soap too.
I-
Have you seen it wash
smaller.
the shoes when they have like a person as a pet raccoon and
sorry.
they set up a tub and the raccoon keeps taking shoes and be like, I'm helping.
Is this like an internet video
No,
thing?
No, it's,
Yes.
it's like it's a thing where raccoons do.
Raccoons
tons
wash
of
their
videos of it.
food.
I'll
I
find
knew
it.
a guy
wanna- yeah, I wanna
that
watch
kept a
this.
raccoon.
More
as a pet.
explanations.
Did it wash
Next
it?
is Flowers
It
for
was-
Algernon with $25. It rolls the D10 for the win, or else it gets the cage again.
It's true.
Exactly.
I feel
I'm
really bad about I'm
pissed
gonna
off at that
continue
die.
feeling bad about the cage.
No, it's
Duds
necessary.
again with
Necessary.
$5 to steal from chat. Axamillion, time to clittering. TTC equal 9 minutes, and then just wahahaha. TTC.
Yeah, you're stealing 9 minutes into the show.
Yep, I noticed.
Wow.
Archaeos 46 with $10. Leviathan and Thea / Sarah returns.
Yay.
You're back.
Duds with $15.70. Gotta roll to 69.
Hell yeah.
Thanks
nice.
to Huds. Void Smoker with $50. Been so looking forward to this with the whole gang back together. Thank you, Void Smoker.
Did you put your
Also, I
art-
loved your
vertical.
Ica and Sorin ships, and I really enjoyed that. Apparently, you used the logo from an actual company named Ica. It's like a Swedish supermarket company or
and
something.
now they're the space.
And now they
One-
own space.
Once we get sued, we'll.
And next is Autotillin with $100 and no message.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate messages and no messages
Do we
alike.
get to insert the message?
Insert message here.
Lauren is doing a great job.
Aww. Thank you.
Period.
Not
Yeah.
killing the audience.
Yeah, she's rolling
In
real great.
parentheses, or not killing
Real,
cats.
real awesome.
Tuds with $50. This show gives me a natural going vertical feeling. Oh, that was Tempest D. Sorry. I missed Tempest underscore D.
That makes it worse. That better. Who's going better?
Oh man, we didn't even have
It's a natural going vertical feeling.
Naturally.
We are an all-natural supplement.
I don't know if that's.
If your
that's
feeling of
as
going
fun.
vertical persists for more than 4 hours, please go see a doctor.
Position.
Yes.
Or send Anna more coffee.
Send Anna more coffee.
Yes.
Instead, to Huds with $50. Thea and Kika are back together. Ah, true love lasts. Ah, you Becca, me, a good girl. You were gone learning.
You were gone learning.
I was. Oh, you became not cut the line. You became a good
me.
girl. You were gone learning.
You Becca me.
Hush me heartbreaks.
It's okay to have we
to-
clarified. It was Tempest. We clarified.
Terrified.
And then next is Chicago Mike 1985 with $4.31. That needs to be a round number stat.
Ah, one of the evens.
Yes, you are team
I
even.
respect that.
Not too nice.
Decimal.
With 3 E's and 2 I's.
To Huds with $50. Boo / Anna's sleeping area fund. Don't burn out. And then finally, Theater Nerd with $10. I'm glad that I'm catching the return of Sarah, even though I'm an hour and a half late. Thea has been missed. Long live Thika.
Theater nerd.
Oh.
How is waitress and also Fika is adorable.
We are a good caboose best friend train. Boop boop. Boop boop.
That's the best part train. Caboose best friend train.
Hashtag
We're
Caboose
always
best
on the
friend
back.
train.
Yeah. Boop boop. Our caboose just attaches to other trains and then just falls off occasionally.
And when
then
it falls off, it takes stuff with it
Yep.
for some reason.
Yep.
Unknown reason.
So, thank you so much, everybody, for all of your donations. You have exceeded our goal. Everything extra that we make beyond paying for this episode goes towards funds for future shows and future episodes, which is super awesome, and we're very excited to bring you new content. In the meantime, you should go check out our Wikia if you're still confused. Enjoy the fan art that will be showing during the break, and also check out our Patreon if you're like, man, how can I set up a monthly recurring donation? Patreon's the way to do it. Also, feel free to share out, tweet the stream, and do all of those awesome things to help spread the word about this joyous show.
go potty, drink water.
And yeah, I guess.
Get up,
In that
stretch.
order.
Get
Yeah.
up,
Move.
snack.
Yeah.
oh, eat
we're
some
just
carrots.
Stand up.
take care of yourself.
Even just stand up.
Just a
And
little
may the force be
self-love.
with you.
Hand massage.
Watch the
back.
Avengers Infinity War trailer.